Hello, my name is Nadine Purdy, and I'm the founder of Kambo Casita. I've been working in this space for a bit over 25 years. And what drew me to this space was for my own healing. I have a background of a lot of trauma and PTSD and life experiences. And when I was able to overcome these maladies and drug addiction, I was called to help other people who had went through similar situations or different situations in life to be able to get to the other side. So I've lived and I've served medicine all over the world. I have been going to Peru for over 20 years. I have a lot of connections with a lot of indigenous tribes there. I lived with the Shipibo tribe for a year. My foundation is in the Santo Daime. It's an ayahuasca church, not exactly a church, in Brazil and in Peru, and various other places in the world. There's a long time relationships. I've pretty much been getting my medicines from the same people for over 20 years, and so that ensures that it's of the highest quality. We have our relationships are win-win situations, and there's a lot of trust there and friendship.
My name's Alissa and I'm a creative arts therapist. And have gravitated towards this field because I had a lot of loss and grief in my life in 2020. Prior to that, prior and in between, I've worked with a variety of populations within my career of art therapy. And that consisted of traumatic brain injuries, people with stroke, psychiatry, addiction. A big chunk of my career has been with people with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. The benefit of using the plant medicine is for people to really be able to sit within themselves and have an opening for that. And then the integration really provides that opportunity for them to have a different perspective than ever before. It's a new lens.
And an opportunity to go deep within oneself. It's almost like cleaning out the closet sometimes. It's like you go in and you look at the things that you need to change and you get the revelations and the aha moments. And, some people have visions, some people don't. But it's really to open up your field, raising your frequency and vibration. And then when you receive that, it's integrating it into your daily life. So you start doing things differently. You start reacting to things differently. You have this knowing, this remembering of who you are and what is important, and being and achieving your most intimate aspirations.
Totally. Yep. And, you are the best person to guide people through this. And you've been called to this work, and people that are able to be in your presence can feel that and the comfort that you provide in safety. I was just wondering, what calls you to this work?
Well, it was out of desperation. I mean, the reason why I do this work is because I did and I continue to do this work. I was blessed many years ago to be brought to my first ayahuasca ceremony, and it was a complete shift of wow. It was like it just opened Pandora's box. And so the continuation of doing my own work and my own healing and getting to a certain point, people started noticing and asked me what I was doing. And then things just kind of progressed. And, so I really understand where people are at and empathize with how they're feeling. And really, and it's both of us, we create a safe space in order for the individual to be able to feel vulnerable and to dive deep into themselves and come back out with a gift.
Yes, a huge gift. Tell me a little bit about Costa Rica and the area, what it's like to be there at the resort.
Costa Rica is a very magical place. I've traveled all over the world and I just kept coming back here. There's an energy here that is very grounding, very connected to nature. I'm really blessed to this place actually chose me. I'm like view of the ocean, sunrises, sunsets, really nice, comfortable rooms and beds. It's more like you feel at home when you come here. It's not really a retreat center. It's a place to retreat to.
I love that so much.
Why do you believe creativity is so important in the integration process?
When we're doing work with the plant medicine, we are going within our subconscious. And when we're out of it, we're back into our everyday thinking process. And we don't necessarily always have the words to express verbally what we experience. So there's a variety of creative arts opportunities where sometimes we're using dance to really express how our bodies are feeling after these experiences. We might feel very light or heavy or a variety of things. And through using music and our bodies, we can really express that initially through movement and then processing, sometimes verbally or not. And the use of collage sometimes is very beneficial, where we're using some images that are already there for us to determine how are we going to tell our story about what it is that showed up for us. And a visual image could appear that we might not be able to draw because we don't have that skill, but the image is there to represent something that we've seen. And it's amazing when people start creating these collages, how a story unfolds. And it really could be like, let's say, a horse. We have horses in the retreat as an option. A horse shows up for you somehow at some point, and there's a horse image from this collage. It has a representation that you may have not even realized from your conscious thinking. We actually could see, oh, how does this play a role within the dynamic of the art collage that you created? It will end up telling a story about you and messaging that you maybe have never thought about until it's right there in front of your face. The journaling and the writing, also, we have a lot of prompts to help you dive in and figure out, open-ended questions that will help you continue thinking about the process of how, the plant medicine really changed you and played a role in your life, and really zoning in on the gift, like you just said, that you receive. And these sometimes when we're in plant medicine, some thoughts and situations this could be very fleeting. And this is an opportunity to document, what it is that is showing up. And even if it's not so structured, like if we're using watercolor paints or acrylic paints and we're just using colors to represent some visions that showed up, that's even powerful. And we could really go very far with all of those opportunities to allow the space to be held for whatever you've just learned. So a part of this process with the retreat that we're about to take a nice deep dive into is really concentrating on remembering who we are and embracing what our bodies are capable of. So what are some of those things that are highlights for you that you find are rejuvenating for everybody when they've come out of the plant medicine experience?
I think that there's realizations that people come to and what's truly important in their life. What is their passion? Which is your passion is your path. Letting go of fear and forgiveness for oneself and for others. Like you're freeing yourself. You're allowing yourself to be in that place of joy and coming to a place of true gratitude. Because it can be a very happy, fun experience in parts of it as well. But it's like happiness is kind of it's an emotion, it's fleeting. But when you really come into that place of gratitude and authenticity and joy, that's a frequency and a vibration. So once you're there, you can always bring yourself back because everything is energy. So if we bring up the energy, we're vibrating in a higher frequency, then the things that we thought mattered or our worries and our woes, we realize that those things don't exist anymore. We find ourselves in the present moment where it's a good day. Everything is good and perfect. And you're coming from this place of the heart instead of the place of the mind. I mean, the mind is very useful in your day-to-day life in order to get tasks done. But when you're coming from your heart, things synchronize. And you go home with tools in your toolbox. That's the thing.
Yes, I
It's not
think,
just about the medicine, it's about alignment.
yes.
The
So,
mind, body, and soul, and listening to your own self, to your intuition, to your heart. The shit hits the fan. You can go in that box and pull out that tool and say, okay, I got a tool to help me navigate through whatever it is that I need to navigate.
yes,
Remembering.
that's right. And it's very hard when people are taking a journey, a trip, and leaving where they live and their everyday life to have this beautiful experience and then come right back to how they left things. And this is the main point of what we're trying to do with the daily integration and opportunities to reflect and ongoing support afterwards so that they're not stuck with their everyday life because now they have this new perspective. And how do they immerse themselves in this everyday with the joy and the beautiful gifts they now have and incorporating that to their everyday stressors? Maybe there's not stress anymore. And what does that feel like to say, oh my goodness, even doing the dishes? Like I used to hate doing the dishes. And now I'm like really within, I'm feeling the water and whatever, my kids, they've drove me crazy, but now I'm really appreciating them, bothering me to this degree. It's not bothering me anymore, and all these things. And we're available for them if there is something bothering them that we could remind them, remember you had this message that came to you, because we could really forget the
Yeah,
messaging. And
good
the
word.
art, going home with the art or whatever creativity we do or the movement and being able to do that on your own, even, 10 minutes out of the day to just bring it back to the memory of being in Costa Rica. And all it needs is 10 minutes sometimes.
Exactly. I think when you remember who you are, you can't help but love yourself. And then that emanates through your whole being and to other people. And, remembering who you are, that's what you are and where you're at. How are we designed? I think most people, they don't even really know how they want to feel. It's one the great thing about the medicine is that when you realize you make the decision of how you want to feel, now you have the opportunity to create and paint on that canvas what it looks like. And we're all manifestors here. That's what 3D is. It's a manifestation, it's creation. So we can actually create whatever our dreams are for our existence here.
I love that because I was literally just thinking, sometimes people are going through these plant medicine experiences because they're just feeling stuck, like maybe the job they've been in for so long and they're ready for a change. And being able to sit with this beautiful medicine, it gives you this open channel to understand that you have the power to make things happen for yourself. You really read my mind. Like the manifestation, we all have this skill. And it opens up the portal for everybody to really know. Like, if I could see these things by drinking a little bit of something, you don't even need that afterwards. It's like the power of the mind shows up.
It's all about being open to receive and truly connecting. And we give you the opportunity to do that. When you feel safe, then you allow yourself to open. There's no, shields aren't up anymore. I mean, both of us and many others that I've encountered, that when we feel safe, this is where the magic can happen, and we're held and we're supported. And that's really our mission here, and this will change the world. It'll change entire collective, conscious collective.
Yes, as soon as we start saying, okay, I'm ready to change and heal myself, or at least change a perspective and get out of that cyclical situation I've been, all of a sudden the frequency shifts and the people around you start to feel that, and they might even shift. It's just a vibration that continues and continues. And it's an amazing thing to be a part of and witness and feel for yourself as an individual, as well as like to watch other people transition by your own transitions.
Oh, that just made me feel so good. joy, laughter. Life is to be enjoyed. Why does our mind tell us that we're not worthy? We don't deserve. We all deserve. Everyone, joy is a birthright. We all deserve to be in the place of joy, of peace, of harmony, and when you find yourself out of kilter, this is another great thing that doing this work, like you recognize it and you have the tools to go right back into the place of source connection and of the place of stasis, the place of balance, true peace in your heart and authenticity. It's like we don't need to put on the masks or be a certain way to please people. When we're good with ourselves, we're good with everything. I feel very strongly about this work and what this event is offering, and I actually wish 25 years ago I had the opportunity to do this type of work with people who are experienced and come before me to show me the way. Because when I first started drinking medicine, it was like, the Wild West. Everybody was pretty new. And basically the blind leading the blind, now there are, some of us who are out there who've actually been walking the path for a minute and went through the trenches, and we're like, hey, we're here to help. We're the lighthouses. We're guiding the way, and you could take what you see, what works for you, and you can leave the rest. But it's all about improvement, right? If we're not improving, we're not living. And as long as you're existing on this planet, this school of life, it's all about improving and not staying like stuck. It's like when you're stuck, it's your body, it's your mind telling you, hey, we need to get up and go, or like, we need a little shift here.
Totally. Yep.
And when you realize that, or when you learn that, like, you get the cues, I mean, you feel pain in your body's telling you something. You're feeling down or low energy. Well, your mind and your body, they're telling you something. Your spirit's telling you something. It doesn't feel right. Let's get into a place of clarity. And this retreat is also brings you into that place of clarity. So once you're there, you know what it is, what clarity is, to clear intentions, clear path, clear observations, not jumping into something and making assumptions and being attached to outcomes. Like, we're here to observe, to seize the moment, right? But with the more knowledge that we have, the more tools we have in our toolbox, the more that we can create.
That's right.
Yeah. Another way of how we actually provide safety is that we have an RN present and who's experienced with the medicine. And she also brings a special gift of helping us to put our body to prepare our bodies for this work. She'll be doing IV drips, and then, there'll be some other things that are included, like breath work, cold plunge, sauna. So really what we're doing is when we're talking about mind, body, soul medicine, is that we're making things available for the threefold process. We have a beautiful swimming pool, farm to table food, all organic, a wonderful chef. I mean, we truly are covering. We've been doing this for quite some time, so we are covering one part. When you're out in one, you're basically out in all. So what our goal is to put you back into that place of source connection, of homeostasis. And I have many different connections with medicine providers. All of our basis is so that you have the most optimal experience on all levels. And this is, I think, is what a lot of people don't offer is that, you're a whole person, and that's what we're working with.
That is really what I'm doing now, is sitting with people that are integrating their experiences through my clients and in coaching opportunities or hands-on workshops, really just having that person to talk to, because not everybody understands, like, when you return home, that you're kind of a new person. Like, you arrived one way and you leave a different way. This is a process. It's all beautiful and so much fun. And if you're sitting with the right people and they're reminding you that this is an exciting time, it could bring up a lot of different emotions, and emotions are just energy. And we are going to help channel that energy into whatever is most comfortable for you in while we're with you and when we're not with you, the whole experience, and really making people understand, let's just listen to the sounds around us and what is here. We're so busy all the time and we don't even notice birds singing, in front of our own homes. So we can like start incorporating, like really pay attention to what's around you right now and bring it back home with you.
And you could hear the ocean at night here too. So it's like
People,
it becomes magical. Just like you really understand that we are nature. We are a part of nature. And everyone seems to be so separated from nature. And when you come here, you have the opportunity to truly immerse into nature, into the oneness.